So what I came up with here when it comes to installing the battery box, and you might be able to tell if you look at that flat panel there, it's not flat, right? So it actually transitions downward to the back. So there's not a flat, even surface to mount the box. So I came up with the spacers, which is just 1/4 inch by 1.5 inch aluminum, and placed them on, as you can see, on just the one side, because on the left side here with those spacers, it just settles perfectly. Drilled out my holes. These ones are over here for the spacer. So I got the right hand spacer in place. Got my holes drilled. Now I got my little marks in there. Now I'm going to pull it out and drill out the spacer. Got my spacers all configured. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the box in place. And you can see where the bolts are for the spacer. So the Moroso battery box that I'm installing, for the cover, it came with these, what I consider really funky process application to clamp down the cover. So you got these strange clips. They insert into a slot into the bottom box, right? And then you see it's closed. All right, and so then when you screw these down in it, it splits this and hooks on it. And it's got this silly little washer in there as well. And it's a Phillips, right? So, I mean, I don't like that at all. That's a pain in the ass, and it's just goofy to me. So what I'm doing is I'm using wing nuts. Along with the wing nuts, I used double washers, top and bottom, with a nut and a bolt. Pretty straightforward. You can kind of see in this picture that the top washer, I ground down one side of it all the way around. You can see them at the top of the picture as well, to make that fit in there. And it worked out perfectly. And so I'll show you more about that kind of configuration, because there's also some bushings that I used as well, just because of the nature of the lid. It's just a little funky. A lot of things are a little funky about this box that I had to kind of work around and figure something out that worked better for me. So when I was getting into relocating the battery, my brother decided he wanted to rewire all of this in here, relocate the coil, relay. I bought some new posts, as you can see, positive and negative, and relocated those there. Also moved the MSD box back. All right, so today I've been securing all of the battery box wires, alternator wire, throughout the car. So you can see I punched through the firewall here, used heater hose to protect the wire. I just used a pipe clamp for the first angle right there. And then after that, I used wire clamps. Got everything taped up, of course. If you're wondering why I didn't run this through the rocker panel here and up through there and so on and so forth, I was told that for a race car, that actually has a safety issue. And so you want to run it on the inside. So in case this rocker panel got pinched and bent, it didn't sever the wire and create a potential fire. So I have it routed under the carpet here. So of course I have it following the car. I checked all the, the panels on here to make sure there was no obstruction or anything like that. Got a going through into the trunk. Again, some heater hose, because that's kind of a sharp edge right there. Actually put some heater hose here as well, because that pinch weld right there could wear through eventually. So I just split some heater hose and then taped it up. So that should do just fine. And now I'm getting ready just to finish it up in the back. I've got all the cable all buttoned up from the front of the car to the rear. Now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to run these into the box themselves. I've started that process a little bit. Got a couple holes drilled there. Fingers crossed. Hope my plan works out. All right, so almost done with the battery. Had to do a few modifications to make this work, to at least how I like it. As I mentioned before, it came with those funky ass clips in there with Phillips screws to hold down the lid. Did not like that, so I just did this little modification on that. Also, the bolts that come up through, you know, for the plate that actually holds the battery down, you can't get a socket or anything down in there. It's utterly ridiculous. I mean, what a poor design. I mean, the box is good, don't get me wrong, everything's really nice. It's just a few things that just make no sense. They could have just made this box just a little bit larger, so you could actually get a socket down in there, move the hole out on the plate so you can get a socket down in between, because it binds up there. So what I did is I got some bushings, similar to what I did for the lid, and also originally came with these 12-point nuts. Hate those, so I'm replacing those as well. The bushings were a little long, so I cut those down and I made them the right size, and so this is what they do. Boom, just like that. Okay, so there you have it. Easy access, completely holds it down. I'll do the other side, of course. So yeah, really happy with how that came out as a workaround. But this is how she's coming out. Okay, there it is with the bushings in place, all secured and bolted down. Got the lid all set up, got my strip in there, all sealed in. Let me get it put on. Okay. Couldn't do that with one hand, so there it is. And then I did the same thing with this. Put bushings. All the way around. One more. Like so. And then wing nuts. Boom. So much better. Boom. So I really like how it all came out in the end. And we're all done. All right, just a quick final review of what I've done here. So, see, you got punched through there, got it all secured along the rocker panels here. I got it going behind the carpet right now. As you can see, travels up here over the wheel well, punches through, got some heater to protect it from against the sharp edges of the sheet metal. Slides on through. Over the wheel well. I have it secured to a pinch weld there. Got 2 straps and some heater hose in between because it could rub up against that pinch weld a little bit. Runs behind the battery box, comes up through and into the box. There you have it.